Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Before it was always like that. All right. Welcome to May 23rd's general session of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. We'll start this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. And the municipal court.
Resolution number 355-17, resolution authorizing an agreement with the Franklin County Municipal Court to provide legal counsel to indigent persons in the amount of $50,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and staff. I'm Emily Shaw, Court Administrator with the Municipal Court, and with me is John Davenport, Finance Director for the Court. Resolution 355-17 is seeking your approval to enter into a contract with the Municipal Court in the amount of $50,000. This contract will provide for legal counsel for indigent persons who are charged with criminal violations of municipal code in the Municipal Court. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us.
Commissioner, before you move approval, I'm going to say these are two old friends. I'm sorry if I called you old. These are two of my longtime friends. These John and Emily are friends from the clerk's office years ago. I served with these guys in the clerk's office for a long time. They're good people. So just so you know, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to meet, but these are.
No, but since you stated that, now I have a number of questions.
About him, right?
Emily, I didn't know you were at the meeting.
Yeah.
I really didn't know that.
5 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emily spent a number of years in the clerk's office before I got there, and with me, and then moved to the treasurer's office under
That
Treasurer
I
Leonard,
remember.
and then moved from there over to the municipal court. And John was in the clerk's office with us for a long time.
John,
I missed you and your daughter, I hear.
Yes, you did. It's all right. She'll come back.
Good. John likes when his daughter comes in. We spend a little time, and she gets to see the view out my window sometimes. So, and then John's been with the municipal court for how long now?
10 years.
10 years now. So, good people. Good people.
Aiding all of us.
Yes. Yes.
The only question that I'd have actually is it seems like such a small amount for such a big need in the broader sense of thing. So is there additional funds that come back, or does this cover the entire year, or is this just certain levels of representation?
These are where there are conflicts with the Public Defender's Office, so that it is not on every case, where there are indigent persons. So these are kind of the outliers where there's a conflict with the Public Defender's Office they cannot represent. So then we do an appointed counsel.
Okay. And then it made me think of another question. Are there ever any questions that have to do representation around immigration at the local level or the municipal level that get as part of your court system for municipal court?
Just in general?
Yeah, in general.
We haven't had that yet. We have had some sporadic instances where ICE may interface in some of the lobby areas, but we haven't had too much of that occur of late.
Okay, Chris. Okay, thank you so much. If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Thank you.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 355-17 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
See
Take
you.
care. All right, on to the prosecuting attorney's office.
Resolution number 356-17, resolution authorizing a services and solutions agreement and a services contract with Xerox Corporation for the purpose of providing copiers and related services for the Franklin County Prosecuting Attorney's Office in the amount of $30,012.84.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nick Soulis here on behalf of the Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Commissioners, this resolution authorizes an agreement with the Xerox Corporation, two agreements actually, to replace and upgrade our existing copiers. Yes, Commissioner Brown, we do still use a lot of paper, unfortunately, but we also use them for scanning documents to get them into our matrix system so that we can e-file and whatnot. And so it's to replace and upgrade the copiers, and also for the toner services portion of that as well.
Okay.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 356-17 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. The Sheriff's Office.
Resolution number 357-17, resolution authorizing the purchase of a 3-year extended reporting period medical malpractice insurance policy from Rockbridge Mount Holly for the Franklin County Sheriff's Office in the amount of $403,110.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, Director of Administrative Services for Sheriff Baldwin. Passage of this resolution will provide extended coverage, also known as tail coverage, through June 1st, 2020 for any claims brought forward regarding incidents that occurred prior to June 1st of this year. The terms of the insurance are the same as the current policy in effect until next week's transition to NAFCare for the complete health care coverage in the jails. Any questions, ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage of the resolution.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 357-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 358-17, resolution authorizing a contract with Laboratory Corporation of America Holdings for laboratory testing services for inmates in the amount of $50,000.
Commissioners, this resolution authorizes a contract with LabCorp through the end of this month. It serves as a housekeeping measure for lab testing services provided in NAFCARE's transition next week. With no questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 358-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 359-17, resolution authorizing a second contract extension to Gauls LLC for deputy sheriff uniforms, parts, and services in the amount of $260,000.
This resolution authorizes a 1-year contract with Gauls through May 9th of 2018. Gauls is utilized to purchase deputy uniforms for the office, and pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
Thank you. And forgive me because I wasn't able to be at briefing on Thursday. Had a medical emergency. But one is Gall local company?
Gauls is based out of Lexington, Kentucky, I believe, but they have a satellite office here in Columbus. They purchased Roy Taylor's, which is out on the west side, last year, so that's where we go for uniform fittings and pickups and things like that.
Sure.
So.
And then my second question, thank you. Then my second question was, so this is the estimated amount of $260,000. So that's basically on a per purchase basis. So if you need, for example, just looking at the contract list, 5 batons, that is subtracted from the or taken out the 260. So it begins to nip away that overall budget of 260, or is that a base amount and then you have to pay based on a per
It's
basis?
a per or by purchase contract. So that's an estimated amount based on the turnover that we have for new employees, as well as any time a deputy transfers from patrol to corrections or vice versa. For example, the collective bargaining agreement allows certain uniform items that we provide them. So it's subtracted from that amount, I guess is the best way to answer it from your.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
It's not an upfront cost, or we have to pay that amount. It's just an estimated amount for the course of the year.
And it's generally an up to at this point, isn't it? An up to 260, and if you needed a supplemental.
That's correct. It's an estimated amount.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we would go over that for whatever reason, we would be back to authorize any more contract authority for that matter.
Okay, thank you. Yep. If there are no further comments or questions, move for passage.
I'll second.
Moved in second and voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 359-17 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Franklin County Data Center.
Resolution number 360-17, resolution authorizing a service order and master service agreement with Involata LLC for information technology disaster recovery services associated with the data center's high availability strategy in the amount of $148,600.
Good morning, Commissioners. This resolution is to approve an extension of our current secondary data center services. It was negotiated with a 9% decrease in cost for the coming year, and this will extend those services for 1 year. Pending any questions, I do request your approval.
If you could just elaborate, when you say information service, recovery services, just kind of elaborate on exactly what that is.
Correct. It is both our disaster recovery service. We've also implemented about 3 or 4 years ago redundancy within Franklin County data network. And this secondary data center also provides for those short-term failover services. We have the majority of our information that's on the Franklin County data network duplicated at that site. And that way we have it for both disaster recovery and high availability.
And then, if I may, are these bid contracts or these negotiated contracts?
This one is a negotiated contract. Franklin County actually was part of the building of this particular site. It is the WeConnect site in Westerville, and for that reason it was not bid out. We utilized the services that we had invested in.
Okay, thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 360-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 361-17, resolution authorizing contract with Presido Holdings Incorporated and Progressive Data Systems Incorporated for staff augmentation services and supplemental appropriations associated with the auditor's real estate management system in the amount of $380,000.
Thank you. And this resolution approves both contracts and funding. In February of 2016, the data center took over maintenance on the auditor's real estate management system. This increases both service levels while reducing cost. The amount of the appropriations will have offsetting revenue paid by the auditor's real estate fund. So pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
And I want to make sure I understand this too. So this is also a negotiated contract then?
These are negotiated contracts through the state of Ohio STS contract and also through a federal GSA contract. So they were approved with those, allowing us to utilize those without going through the bid process.
And this fund comes out of the real estate fund, not the general fund, is that correct?
Correct.
Funding
Good question,
for these.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. If there are no further comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 361-17 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, on to Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 362-17, resolution approving 3 contract extensions for on-site case management services between the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services and Mount Carmel East Hospital, Mount Carmel St. Anne's Hospital, and Mount Carmel West Hospital in the amount of $245,490.03.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joy Bibbins, Director of Franklin County Job and Family Services. We have one resolution that will approve an extension contract with Mount Carmel Hospital System, which allow us to provide case management service in Mount Carmel East, Mount Carmel West, as well as St. Anne's services. As you know, this is an extension of the existing contract from April 1st to March 30th, 2016, but we mutually agreed to upon another additional 1-year extension per the terms of the contract. Each case manager will provide eligibility services for all of our eligibility programs, especially the Medicaid eligibility group. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval of this resolution.
Joy, this is at 3 of their locations?
Yes.
East, west, and up in Westerville?
St. Anne's.
St. Anne's?
Yes.
All right. They're going to end up with multiple locations here before long. I mean, they're going to have the Grove City location.
That's what we were talking
Building
about.
a new location out in Hilliard.
Yeah.
They're going to, the west location, as you know, is going to be the emergency room only services. As we move into that, they phase into that, we're going to make sure that we can continue inroads so that we have a presence in the Grove City location as well.
Yeah.
I think that's scheduled for 2019.
They're contracting for emergency room services in Hilliard. They're building a doctor's, what do you call it, a medical office complex in Hilliard, but they're contracting with a firm to do emergency room services out there. So.
Is that a freestanding site?
Yeah,
But
it's not built yet. It's being built at the moment.
It's gonna be a freestanding emergency?
Yeah.
Huh.
Ohio Health's building a facility, a small emergency facility out there as well.
So is it under the Mount Carmel umbrella, this freestanding, as well as the Ohio Health?
Well, there's two of them,
Right.
two different facilities, yeah.
Right. Okay. We'll look into that.
Lots going on.
Yeah.
Lots going on. Lots of development going on all over the place,
yeah,
no matter where you drive.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Dublin, Hilliard, Grove City, Grandview, Arlington, Canal Winchester, Westerville, every suburb in central Ohio has got a huge amount of development going on. That's not what we're talking about.
But it's actually, it's still a relevant point though, Commissioner, because, I mean, just, you know, we drive into work and you see how the traffic has increased. Central Ohio is growing, and it is growing at a fast rate, and that's what you're talking about.
That's what the whole conversation that I had with the reporter sitting in the front row a couple weeks ago was about. But a huge amount of this is all medical services, though.
Right.
Especially in the Hilliard area and up in the Dublin area, I know for sure.
And Grove
A lot of that
City,
is
yeah.
medical services, which is
Absolutely.
what this contract's
Yeah.
about.
Right.
Or part of what this contract's about, down in Grove City as well. So it's a huge, you know, it's a huge piece of it. And the conversation that Kimball and I had was about if all of this development is happening now, and the projection is that the growth of this community over the next 20 to 30 years is projected to be 500,000 or more
Right.
residents over
Right.
the next 20 to 30 years, and this is the development that's happening now. What's it going to look like in this community in the next 20 to 30 years if this is what we're doing now?
Yeah.
So.
Right. And how do we position people for those jobs as this development is going on? How are
Right,
we?
well, and I think that gets to what our
Yeah.
investments in, that you're making.
Absolutely.
And that we're making in our kids and all of those educational investments we make in early childhood education.
Right.
And that step up to quality initiatives are
Yeah.
really significantly important because in 20 years,
Absolutely.
those are the people that are gonna be looking for those jobs.
We just got done investing in our children, but we also just got done investing in our seniors. We just got done.
Absolutely.
We just got done with a huge campaign and a levy to invest in the silver tsunami that that's been predicted with our senior citizens. And Tony will be up here in a few minutes to talk about our aging. So, I mean, there is a huge amount going on in Central Ohio, and Jim will be up in a little bit to talk about economic development. And so,
Again, I think the decisions that you all make as commissioners are so impactful because they make it's generational impact
yeah.
from seniors to kids.
Yep. Well, this is good stuff. Well, I have a feeling you're going to be back talking about more contract extensions for case management at other
Yes.
medical facilities in the future.
Yes.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you. Pending any questions?
If there are no
Sure.
further comments or questions, move for passage.
Second,
Moved and seconded in voting. Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 362-17 has been adopted.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank
Care Director,
Thanks.
Office on Aging.
Resolution number 363-17, resolution approving June 8th, 2017 as Franklin County Office on Aging Day with the Columbus Clippers in the amount of $9,825.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tony Carroll from the Franklin County Office on Aging. This is our annual resolution to designate a particular day as Franklin County Office on Aging Day with the Clippers, and this year it is June the 8th. We will be hosting the Louisville Bats on that day.
Cincinnati Reds farm team.
Okay, good. I did not know that. This is our 16th anniversary of doing this event. We did it for a number of years out in the old Clipper Stadium, and we've been very pleased to be able to do it at Huntington Park.
Oh, so much more accessible.
You remember how, with the old days, having to push wheelchairs up those ramps that were not,
So much more accessible at
it's really
Huntington
nice.
Park.
And the seniors really like being there. As with most of the special events that we do, we try to have a focus on enjoyment and fun, number one. Number two is an opportunity for socialization. As we've talked about before, social isolation is a very debilitating state, and we like to have events where we can get people out, they can interact with their peers, and then the last thing we do with our special events is try to have a resource focus so that we're always promoting services that are available. So we will have a small resource fair there at Huntington Park, as well as the game. We'll have plenty of bottled water in the event we have a really hot day like we've had.
Which we have had.
And the event will be $5 for a reserved seat, $4 for general admission, which includes water and lunch, and we also will be able to provide some limited transportation. So we ask your approval and hope that you're able to come out and join us on June the 8th.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 363-17 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right, and now to Public Facilities Management. Just trying to see where I am on June 8th, if I can make it out to the ballpark or not.
Resolution number 364-17, resolution authorizing a settlement with Rachel Yinger Barnett for a claim for damages to her vehicle as a result of an accident involving equipment operated by an employee of Franklin County Public Facilities Management in the amount of $500.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Goodnow, Public Facilities Management. One of our agency's employees operating some landscaping equipment damaged a vehicle, and this would allow for reimbursement to that individual for the amount of her deductible. And any questions, I'd ask your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 364-17 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Community Partnerships.
Resolution number 365-17, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with the Lincoln Theater Association in the amount of $50,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dana McCrary, Office of Management and Budget. The resolution with Lincoln Theater Association would really support their continued programming in the community, providing opportunities to be involved with the arts for students in high schools, supporting developing artists, emerging artists, hosting community conversations that highlight the historical significance of the Lincoln Theater. So pending any questions, I would request passage of the resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 365-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 366-17, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with the Greater Columbus Arts Council in support of Art Matters, a capital and program expansion of the Columbus Museum of Art in the amount of $2,500,000.
So this resolution supports the beautiful expansion of the Columbus Museum of Art, and because of that expansion, we have really been able to see international acclaim for the exhibits that are able to be featured in this new space, one of which is the Ruben and Isabel Toledo exhibit. I'm not sure if you all have had an opportunity to see that, but just as an aside, Isabel and Ruben Toledo designed that beautiful green ensemble that was worn by First Lady Michelle Obama on her first inauguration. I know you were wondering, right? So now, I can't remember right now if the dress is there.
I did not see it when I was there when it first opened, but they didn't have everything in at the time. but
have some
some
extraordinary-
of the materials, they've done all of the materials themselves
Yes.
as well, and made all of the materials, which is incredible.
Absolutely.
But what's important too with this investment is what it adds to our tourism dollars, which is what we live by, and what that does for us as a community in adding to that is just incredible. But the beautiful display of that exhibit is amazing.
It really is. That was quite a
Yeah.
coup for us to have that exhibit installed.
Yeah.
So pending any questions, I would request passage of the resolution.
Sure. Move for passage.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Abstain.
Resolution number 366-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 367-17, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Franklin Park Conservatory to provide programs that foster environmental understanding and increase tourism in the amount of $1 million.
This resolution supports the expansion of programming and facilities at the Franklin Park Conservatory. I have had the opportunity to visit there a couple of times in my role as Community Partnerships Coordinator, and I am very impressed by the education that's going on there and the beautiful, beautiful Wells Barn, which is a great source of revenue now, used by brides and brownies, right, for sleepovers. It's a beautiful historic facility, and I know that they brought that structure of the Wells Barn from another part of Ohio, and I'm not going to start telling lies and getting my facts mixed up, but we do have here with us today to speak to both resolutions, two staff from from Franklin Park Conservatory, Jenny Pope and Mark Miller, and I would invite them to come forward and share a few words with us about the work that's going on at the conservatory.
Good morning and welcome.
Been out at the conservatory seems like 4 or 5 times. I just saw Jenny there last week.
Yes, you did. So thank you so much. As Dana said, I think the work that we do touches all Ohioans' lives, and our motto is everyone from everywhere at any age is welcome at the conservatory. The programs that Dana was talking about, we have Green Corps, which Mark runs. Do you want to talk about Green Corps just real quick?
It's a job and green industry introduction course and program that is run for 18 to 30-year-olds here in Franklin County.
And we just had their graduation, which you were at, Commissioner O'Grady. And one of the young women, she was just one of our trainees, radiant that night. And I gave her a big hug, and I told her congratulations, and she said, you know, it's been a long time since I've graduated from anything. And that was a really loaded statement. We also do work with teens, youth workforce development. Last year, we had one young man who said he learned how to be self-sufficient. He learned how to grow his own food. He now knew he could hold a job, and he could cook for himself through this program. We also have just broke ground on a children's garden that we will welcome everyone in. This year we're working with the Ward Family Y to bring their kids in to expose them to the conservatory in preparation for that garden coming online. So, you know, we just appreciate everything that the county does for us, and we hope to continue the good work that we do.
Thank you. I know that one of the things that we wanted to see happen with this contract was to really have additional opportunities for the surrounding community to make use of the conservatory, and because it's in their backyard, to really feel that this is their conservatory. And I see those efforts coming to fruition, and so pending any questions, I would request passage of this resolution.
Dana, I really appreciate the work you did in putting this agreement together with the conservatory, and I thank you for opening yourselves up to the community more and more. For us, it's really important to see the community being able to access all aspects of the conservatory. And, you know, it's a beautiful place. And there are some aspects of it that haven't always been as open to everyone. And so it's really wonderful to see that in this contract year we're able to do that and make it available to everyone, as you said, and I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, I'll just add, I'm really glad you brought that point up, Commissioner Brown, because anyone that knows the history from Franklin Park to Ameriflora to where we are today, there really is a real story in there about the right way for change to occur. And when we were going through it, it was very, let's just say, everyone was involved, from the community to the city to the county, and there were a lot of concerns about how this was all going to play out. But from all accounts that I've been given, it's played out very well on behalf of the community, and I say that to your leader every time I see him, and just really appreciate what you all do to make an effort to be inclusive to the community in which you exist in. So I'm glad you brought that point up, Commissioner Brown.
Thank you.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 367-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 368-17, resolution authorizing a one-year contract with Franklin Park Conservatory in support of the Green Course program in the amount of $25,000.
As Mark mentioned, this is the program for young adults up to age 30 who, you know, I had the opportunity to sit in on a class, and I would add that Mark developed the curriculum for this class. It is really informative, and I fell in love with a couple of the Green Corps people who I keep trying to think, you know, what can they do? Can they spread my mulch? Can they do something? Because they're so just enthusiastic and excited.
And Mark is not enthusiastic at all.
I know.
No,
I have to
not at
tell you
all.
too, Mark was.
Ada learned all about weeds
I did.
that day.
I
Yeah.
learned. And I am
how
a
to
good
control them
I'm a good
without
student.
chemicals.
Do you know that I have been outside in my yard every day? Every day.
That's awesome.
You have to pick weeds. You can't do it once a week.
That's
because
right.
if you wait, especially with all this rain, it will get away from you.
Yes,
Right.
Every
will.
Don't I know?
Yeah.
I'm a good student. Anyway, so I just was really impressed by the curriculum, by the enthusiasm of the students, and their excitement, really embracing not just what job they were going to have, but how the Green Corps was going to change their lives. There was a young Somali student who was telling me about how he really wanted to reach out to members of his community to really talk about how they could garden to improve the quality of their lives, and not to have to rely on going to Kroger and finding the vegetables and things that they are accustomed to eating. They could get those seeds and really make that available in their own backyards.
Right. That's right.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for passage.
I will second, and your expression is enough.
I love this program, and the participants are just the best.
Yeah.
They're the
Well,
best.
you know, Mark, I don't know if you and I ever talked about this, but this is, I mean, Eric Janice and I, and Laura and Rommel and Kate and others, we went up to Cleveland and found this program at the
Cleveland Botanical Gardens.
Botanical Gardens with Natalie Ronayne, right, Eric, years back, and the things they were doing up there were fantastic. We
Yep.
said, this is something we can talk to the folks at the conservatory about, and you guys have taken it and run with it, and it's been fantastic. And so, I mean, this is just something that we stumbled upon up there. Just, you know, it was just fantastic. It was a great thing, and so we're happy to hear it. And I can't, you know, I love coming back every year just because not only we get to see the kids and see what you guys do with them every year, but then I get to come and listen to Jim Shimmer tell a story about Mr. Mancuso. you know, those crazy winters where he didn't want to, you know, didn't want to work up in Buffalo, and he had to go, you know.
Yeah, I've heard it 3 or 4
Yeah,
times
yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Moved and second in voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 368-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 369-17, resolution authorizing a 1-year contract with the Charitable Pharmacy of Central Ohio Incorporated for access to health care and affordable prescriptions in the amount of $65,000.
This resolution will further the work of Charitable Pharmacy. They are an incredible organization in terms of the education they provide, the screening, the medication counseling, and access to medication that many people, I'm sure everyone sitting here can imagine being ill and needing to pick up a prescription and having no idea or no means through which to purchase it. So I'm just very, very impressed with the work that they do and how they are able to leverage with the dollars that we commit. They are able to leverage so much more in terms of the medication that they acquire and are able to make available to their patients. I am so pleased this morning to have Jennifer Seifert here, who is the, come on up, who is the Executive Director of Charitable Pharmacy, and she can really continue to add and share with you about the work that they do.
Good morning.
Morning.
As Dana said, I'm Jenny Seifert, the Executive Director of the pharmacy. I'm also a pharmacist, and I'm very grateful to live in Franklin County, where we see the impact of patients or people going without medications. We have served around 5,500 patients, providing complex medication therapy management and medications. And we do have published nationwide data showing that we reduce hospitalizations for our patients by about 1 per patient per year by providing that medication and by providing one-on-one counseling to our patients. We've had 276 advanced interns through our pharmacy. They're in their last year of pharmacy school from pharmacy schools around Ohio. And they are the ones who sit down with our patients. They sit down with around 200 patients a month and go through their medications with them. So I'm grateful to be here. We recently had some focus groups with patients where we asked, what would you do if the Charitable Pharmacy was not here? And after I quelled their fear, because they were concerned that something was going to happen to the Charitable Pharmacy, one of them shared with us that she kept on her kitchen table a stack of papers, and they were prescriptions that her doctor had written for her, or she had gone to a CVS or a Kroger where they give you that patient information leaflet where you can read about your medication, and she couldn't afford to purchase the medication, but she would ask for that leaflet. And so she said, every day I walk by that stack of papers thinking those are medications that I should have been on. I can't imagine the anxiety and depression that produces to know that my doctor wanted me to be on something that I can't be on. So this partnership with the county allows us to see more patients, to leverage our 14 different ways that we acquire medications, most of which are at no charge, in order to recycle medications all across Ohio to our patients that live specifically in Franklin County. So we really appreciate this partnership. We've appreciated this long-term support and willingness to come and talk to our supporters of the pharmacy, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Jenny, how long has the Charitable Pharmacy been in Franklin County?
So we opened our doors in February of 2010. It was 2008 that the needs assessment was done as part of the Ohio Medicaid Healthy Families Initiative, which identified that there were 149,000 people in Franklin County going without medications. So the right people came around the right table in 2008 to say, what do we do about this? We're looking at housing, we're looking at food, and we've really identified that there's a need for medication. So February of 2010, and we've grown each year since then.
You know, Jenny, the three of us, each of us individually has our own between ourselves and our families, we have our own issues with our own medications, our own medical issues. I'm a heart patient. I know what it's like personally for myself when I don't have just one of my dozens of medications that I take. I take more than a dozen medications a day, and I know, we and our families, understand this thing. I guess I would say to the folks in the crowd and the folks that are listening and paying attention, think about just the one medication or two medications that you take every day, or however many you take. Think about going without one of those. Think about the times when you've had to do that, because I'm sure we've all had those times when your prescription runs out and you haven't got that. Imagine having that on a regular basis. Imagine having to make that choice on a regular basis. I mean, it's tough when I have to, figure out how am I going to get the bridge between when my mail order shows up and, when I can get, access to, and I take some medications that I'm not supposed to be without. Imagine having to be that person that has to have that decision, make that decision daily. So, we make a lot of decisions around here that are pretty tough. We make a lot of decisions around here every day where we have to, really put some thought into, which way do we go. This is kind of one of those no-brainers. This is one of those ones where we don't have to put a whole lot of thought or energy into this kind of a decision. This is an easy one for us. And so, thank you for the work that you do, the folks that you represent, and the effort and the time that you guys put into all this. So thanks for everything.
You are more than welcome. Thank you so much for those kind words.
I just said too that I was out last week with a medical emergency. I had an allergic reaction, a really severe allergic reaction to something, and went to the urgent care, went to my doctor. They sent me to a specialist. They gave me something, sent me to a specialist, and so he prescribed two medications. One of them was $10 and the other one was $900. And so needless to say, I went back to the doctor and said, I can't buy that medicine, so give me something else. But the point is that, I mean, I couldn't imagine just having to have that medicine for $900. And they ended up giving me something else that was more affordable. Supposedly wasn't as effective, and quite frankly, I can see that, having gone at the stage of the cycle, the stage where I'm in the cycle of recovery over it, I can see that how the $900 medicine might have made a little quicker difference in it. And so it's just hard to imagine that folks, as Commissioner O'Grady described, could be in more of a life or death situation just by not having access to something. But let me just go to something that you touched on, but you only touched on it, but I think it's worth a deeper dive in a conversation, which, by the way, I'd love to come and visit your facility and learn more about what you all do, and I'd love to come and tour that. But
invitation is open. Yes.
Good. Well, then we'll get something worked out. But you touched on recycling leftover medicine. And tell me about what it is you do with, I mean, all of us have leftover medication in our cabinets, and it sits there, and you're not supposed to flush it down the toilet.
Nope.
Or throw it away. And so how do you collect that? Do you all take in medications that are left over? How do you do that? Do you do it annually? Do you do it every day? And how does that process work in terms of you collecting a medication and then redistributing it to better use?
That's a great question. So we actually cannot take medication from citizens. So the Ohio State Board of Pharmacy is very stringent. We follow closely the regulations regarding pharmacies and charitable pharmacies. So unfortunately, we aren't allowed to take those unused medications from people. That's why finding the most effective and appropriate medication initially is so important. So yes, you aren't supposed to flush those coffee grounds or kitty litter are the way that you are supposed to get rid of. Make your medications unpalatable, and then you can throw them away.
So could you explain that? What are you supposed to do there?
So if you have medicines in your cabinet that are expired, or your parents, and you want to get rid of them, the way that is recommended by the FDA is to not flush them, but to put them in something that is unpalatable. So if someone were to find them in the trash, they wouldn't be able to take them and be harmed. So the best way to make them unpalatable is to put them in kitty litter, used kitty litter, or if you don't have a cat, then coffee grounds, and that will dissolve them and make them such that they can't be pulled out of the trash. So what we do to recycle our medications, our primary way that we get our donated recycled medications is from long-term care facility pharmacies, so nursing home pharmacies. So for patients who their medication was discontinued because it's been changed, they had an adverse drug reaction, they passed away, they were transferred, those medications go back to the pharmacy. And if the pharmacy cannot reuse those, and they typically don't, because they're often partial cards, they come in cards of 30, so there might be 20 tablets on there, we take those, and we are legally allowed to do that. We take them out of that packaging, put them in a regular bottle for a patient, and dispense it to the patient. Last year we dispensed, we just had our financial audit, about $6.5 million worth of medications. We're over $25 million for the duration of our organization, and about 50% of that was from those long-term care facility pharmacies. We have 14 ways we get medications, so we also have agreements with Pfizer and Merck, so pharmaceutical manufacturers, that they give us medications to give to patients who are uninsured. We do have some underinsured folks. You are arguably with the $900 copay acutely in that in that group. So our programs, we do have to qualify very specifically depending on what the requirements are from the different sources.
And yet, and I appreciate you saying that, and yet as we sit here and talk about our various health issues, we are among the fortunate people that have good insurance. There are so many people in our community so underinsured or with lack of insurance that have to choose between food or rent and medicine. And nobody should be in that situation. And that's where this charitable pharmacy really is so helpful. And if you haven't been over there, it is so incredibly well organized and so welcoming and really well done. And it is an incredible asset in our community.
Also,
thank you.
Wonderful example of how the church really built out to accommodate their expansion, which is really wonderful.
We take up 2,000 square feet in the Livingston Methodist Church, so we're on the corner of 4th and Livingston on 2 major bus routes. So it's a great location. The people around the table said who has a great location and who has 2,000 square feet for a pharmacy. So we have a parking lot. So it really is a great location. And to your point, we serve the generationally poor. So a lot of times when they see the physician after maybe 5 to 10 years of not seeing one and getting a diagnosis of heart failure and diabetes and kidney disease, and then are told, these are what's wrong with you, you have 12 medications and you have never taken a medication, or maybe it's been a decade since you've taken a medication. It's us sitting down with them and getting their minds wrapped around why they would need to do that, and maybe not feeling well for a couple of weeks while they adjust to their medications. So we're teaching our students to work one-on-one with our generationally and situationally vulnerable people who are in poverty right now, and we just appreciate the support of the county.
Your work is so critical. I haven't been over in a number of years over to the pharmacy. I believe we were there when it first was conceived, this plan, but it is so critical. I mean, when we talk about Medicaid expansion and the threats to Medicaid, when we talk about right now approximately 134,000 Central Ohioans here in Franklin County being uninsured, and you all being that safety net, creating that bridge just really is just unbelievable where we're at right now. I mean, we talk about needs versus wants. This is clearly a need in this community to have medicine. And your points regarding the pharmacy students providing the consultations are also key, because in many cases, when individuals that haven't been engaged in the healthcare system, even when they have access to medicines, they have to be educated as to whether to have them with food or whether not to have them with food, and all of these critical things are all part of the social determinants that we face to healthcare. So this work is extremely critical.
So true.
I'm sorry, I don't mean it. I take so many drugs, I don't even pay attention to whether I'm supposed to take them with food or not anymore, because there's so many of them. But my wife is very conscious of that all the time. She, 20 minutes before, 20 minutes, and she's very conscious of all those things. I just, handful of pills. It's half the time it's my breakfast. I take so many of them.
Routine is what's most important.
Yeah,
and
I take them.
like
That's
adherent.
I'm much more conscious of that than she is. She's very conscious of what she takes her pills with. I'm very conscious of it's 7:30 in the morning. Take my pills, and so. But I take a handful literally every morning.
Yeah.
12 or 14 pills in the morning. It's literally, some days I do that and it's like, I don't feel like having breakfast right now, because it's like a whole, it's like a meal. So, cup of coffee and my pills, and I'm good.
That's fantastic.
But
thank you.
But I can't. But again, I can't imagine going through my day without them. I can't, because there have been days when I have to, and it's awful. It's awful. So I can't imagine people who literally have to live like that every day. So we, again, just so appreciative of what you do.
Thank you, Jim.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 369-17 has been adopted.
All right, Human Resources.
Resolution number 370-17, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Department of Job and Family Services to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with Ohio Civil Service Employees Association, Local 11, AFSCME, AFL-CIO.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rob Young, representing Human Resources. Negotiations for the new collective bargaining agreement with OCSEA began March 20th. After 5 bargaining sessions, we were able to reach a tentative agreement with the union. The employees voted in favor of the tentative agreement on April 29th. JFS management supports the agreement. There were some changes that will enable them to better predict employee staffing, which in turn provides improved customer service. And regarding economics, there's a general wage increase, will be 2% in 17, 18, and 19, and a one-time 1% wage compression adjustment for employees with 10 years of service with JFS. Agreement expires March 31st, 2020. Pending any questions, we request approval of the resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 370-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 371-17, resolution approving personnel actions.
The personnel actions this week, Board of Commissioners, we have a new hire, and Job and Family Services, we have a removal.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 371-17 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Purchasing Department.
Resolution number 372-17, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,142,336.51.
Morning, Commissioners. Carl Cuthbert, representing the Purchasing Department. The resolution before you requests your approval of 74 purchase orders. These purchase orders have been pre-certified as availability fund by the county auditor. Pending any questions, we recommend their approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 372-17 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 373-17, resolution reappointing Chet Cheney, Daniel Bleschmidt, and Jason Sanson to the Franklin County Planning Commission.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eric Janis, Deputy Administrator. Any questions, would recommend this resolution for the reappointments.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 373-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 374-17, resolution appointing Mark Dravillas to the Franklin County Planning Commission.
Commissioners, Mark is a Assistant Administrator for the Planning Division of the City of Columbus Department of Economic Development. Pending any questions, would recommend approval of this appointment.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 374-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 375-17, resolution appointing Joseph Martin to the Franklin County Board of Zoning Appeals.
Again, Commissioners, pending any questions, would recommend this reappointment.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 375-17 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 376-17, resolution to adjust the boundaries of the City of Hilliard and the City of Columbus, case number ANX-08-17.
Morning, Commissioners. John Schimmer. I'm joined at the dais this morning by Jenny Snap, who is Assistant Director. She's going to take you through our interesting regular annexation.
First, Commissioners, we have a resolution to consider the boundary adjustment of 22 acres from the City of Columbus to the City of Hilliard. The area to be adjusted includes 22 acres at 3300 Hilliard Rome Road, and that consists of 3 parcels located on the east side of Hilliard Rome to the point where it intersects with Fazal. That is both south and west of Darby Roads. The City of Columbus agreed to transfer the 22 acres of land in 1988. However, it was never finalized. So the property is occupied at the moment by a Hilliard Elementary School, Hilliard Crossing, and City of Hilliard Park. The petition was filed by the City of Columbus and the City of Hilliard in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 709.37. The City of Columbus passed ordinance number 3370-2016 on January 30th, 2017, agreeing to transfer the 22 acres to the City of Hilliard. And the City of Hilliard passed ordinance number 17-03 on March 27th, 2017, accepting the transfer of land from the City of Columbus. Both ordinances directed the respective city clerks to certify the ordinances to the Board of County Commissioners for further proceedings. Petitioning municipalities have met all statutory requirements outlined in section 709.37 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, staff requests your approval of this petition.
If there are no comments or questions, move for passage.
Second.
Moved in second and voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 376-17 has been adopted. Resolution number 377-17, resolution authorizing an economic development grant agreement with the Columbus Franklin County Finance Authority to continue the administration of the Energy Works Columbus Region Energy Loan Fund in the amount of $1,500,000.
Commissioners, as you are well aware, the SmartWorks Economic Development Program in Franklin County is consisting of 3 different programs: PeopleWorks, the Infrastructure Bank Program, and EnergyWorks. Under the Energy Works program, we have an agreement with the Columbus Franklin Finance Authority to administer the Energy Works program, which is basically a loan program. Take you back to the discussion that we had with the community and with the business community early on when we were talking about the SmartWorks program, and that was a discussion that a lot of developers and owners, building owners, were having and held properties that were outdated in energy systems. And as part of that, one of the things that our colleagues asked us to do was to look at a loan program so that these buildings could be brought up to a modern standard. We weren't real sure of, at that point in time, what the demand was going to be, but we have really hit the ground running with Gene Carter Ryan's help and the Finance Authority's work there. So this is a contract that is $1.5 million. It's an annual contract for the Energy Works program as we move forward with SmartWorks in general. Gene Ryan is in the audience this morning and is happy to come up and talk a little bit about the program. She's joined Jeremy, I'm sorry, I don't know your last name, but Jean, you want to mention a few of the programs that we've had success with the PNC building downtown and Trillium, for example?
Right. Really, thank you very much. Good morning. It's great to be here again before the commissioners. Again, I wanted to thank you for your ongoing support of the Finance Authority in general and really this program, which is a really exciting program that we have been working in close cooperation with the Development Department to make sure that we're running it appropriately. So the energy program is really designed to help building owners reduce their energy use and cost. The idea being, you know, as you increase your investment in this capital investment, you're reducing your energy usage, which benefits not only the building, but frankly the community as a whole. Through the first, I think, tranche of money that we have been received, we financed a couple of different projects so far. As Jim mentioned, the PNC Plaza downtown building, obviously an iconic building downtown on Capitol Square, that was a $3.2 million investment. So there's a combination of county money and then bond fund money from the Columbus-Franklin County Bond Fund. We also worked up in Worthington. We expanded our district up into Worthington for what had been a formerly 15-year vacant building that one of our local developers, Tim Spencer, and his company Trivium purchased and basically has brought in, rehabbed it, spent over $10 million. We made him a $325,000 loan, which made a difference in terms of his capital stack to basically help finance these energy improvements. As a result, he's basically got some doctor's offices that are there, there's some dentist offices that are there, and another local company. So from the city's perspective, you can imagine they've got a formerly vacant building. It's now occupied. It's got some high-income folks living there, so they're generating additional taxes. It's a real positive story. We also have a significant pipeline of projects that we're working on right now. We have term sheets that we've got out with local prospects of over $2 million. We've got other projects that we've had some very intensive discussions with, over $7 million. So we've got a lot of different projects that are in our pipeline that we think it's really ready to pop in terms of the program. So we're really excited about it. We think we're doing, you know, at the right time to really move this program forward, to take it to the next level. And we really can't do that without you. We have our bond fund program, but that program can only do larger deals. And many of these projects are in that $500,000 to $600,000 range. And we don't have the ability without this program to really be able to help those clients make those energy efficiency improvements. So at this point, I'd just like to open it up to you and answer any questions you might have for me about what we're doing with the program.
Jean, I'm really happy that we were able to have you do the administration of this fund. You know, it's one thing to develop a program, it's another to do the excellent administration of it and do those deals when they come up. And the Finance Authority has been known for being able to get those deals put together in a way that work for both us as well as for the companies that have needed them in this arena. So thank you for that. And working with our shop and you and your board, it's been really a good match. So it's a good partnership.
We absolutely agree.
Yeah, it's been such an amazing agenda that you've had this morning for A to Z things. And energy, as we move forward in the future, is going to be more and more critical, I think, as time goes on. But a key component to this that I want to make sure that the general public is aware of is that this is also a revolving loan. These dollars, when they're paid in, they go back out to other loans. So it continues to recycle, and we're very proud of that fact.
Well, and this is people in jobs. So, you know, this is not just buildings. This is people in those buildings working. And if it adds to those, that are the ability to expand a business or do something good for the employees, that's a good thing.
Agreed.
So we'd ask for your approval of this resolution this morning.
Oh, I will move approval of 37717.
Second.
Moved and second in voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Abstain.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 377-17 has been adopted.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Gene.
All right, we need to have a public hearing on the next annexation resolution. If there are those who would like to testify on this annexation from Prairie Township into the city of Columbus, is there anyone in the crowd other than the folks from EDP? Sir, if you want to come up.
And be sworn in.
Yeah. If you'd like to provide testimony, if you could raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth? If so, say I do.
I do.
Okay, great. All right, so if the folks from EDP can provide the background on the annexation, explain why this petition is different than the others, and then we'll have, are you the property owner, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then we'll have you speak after that, and then we can do that. All right?
This resolution is to consider a regular annexation of .470 acres from Prairie Township to the city of Columbus. The area to be annexed includes .470 acres from 951 Dotery Road, which is one parcel that's south of Fetter and west of Hilliard Rome Road. Additionally, 67.5 of the site's perimeter is contiguous to the city of Columbus. The owner is Thomas E. and Patricia A. Hawkins, who are acting on their own behalf. Mr. Hawkins, again, is here and will give a sworn statement on the reason for the annexation and his special circumstances. The applicant has met all statutory requirements outlined in 709.03 of the Ohio Revised Code. And at the conclusion of the testimony from the property owner, the board must determine the 5 criteria outlined and certified to be true by staff in the prosecuting attorney's office. The applicant has provided proof of notification and a timeline and has provided an ordinance from the city of Columbus identifying the services that will be provided once the annexation has been approved. That ordinance number is 0763-2017 and was passed by the city of Columbus on March 27th, 2017. Again, this is a regular annexation. Preparing my speaking points today, I went back into our databases, and this is the first regular annexation that we've had since 2008, so nearly 10 years. So generally, we do go through expedited processes, which are different. This particular annexation process was requested by the city of Columbus, given some tax implications they have with Prairie Township and their JED. So this is why this particular process was required. And I want to thank Nick Soulis, who's been tremendously helpful to us as staff and helping us get through this process since it's been so long since we've done this. So pending any questions, staff requests your approval of this petition.
Okay. Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Okay. If you would like to then testify and let us know from your perspective why you'd like to be in the city of Columbus.
Well, first of all, the property that we have had a leach bed system, and unfortunately that failed completely. And the rest of the property, it could not be repaired because of the size of the property. The new system could not be put in the front of the property because that's where a well system is. So we request getting annexed so that we can tie into the city of Columbus sewer system, which has now been accomplished. We were without any type of facilities in the home for over 3 months. So it was kind of a unfortunate circumstances that we had to deal with. Now it's been corrected, and we're satisfied with it, and we'd appreciate any type of approval that we could get.
I'm just curious, what's a leach bed system?
It's a system where everything that comes from your toilet facility goes out into a leaching bed, which is underground. It's a large area where they put fingers, and all of this water and waste goes out into these fingers. Mm-hmm. Then it goes down into the earth, and after a long period of time, all that system has plugged up, and the land will no longer absorb any of the water. So consequently, the system completely failed, And you can no longer use toilet facilities or any other water facilities in the home, and that's what we experienced for a little over 3 months.
Generally a
Commissioner
rural-
Boyce, we.
Generally a rural system.
Sure.
Right, and it's a system that we really would like to try and see less of as time goes on.
Are there other homes in the area that have these systems that are still?
Yes. My next door neighbor has the same system, and he's on borrowed time, I'm quite sure.
You'll recall the pockets of pollution.
Oh, yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
actually another residual
Well, I'm aware
issue
of the
that we have.
leach systems. I
Yep.
didn't realize this area had that system. And it's so unfortunate that you had 3 months of.
Yes, we became very well acquainted with all of the local merchants
Yeah, I
in
get
the
it.
area. And we were all on a first-name basis with,
I'm sure.
with all these folks on a daily basis.
Ah.
As you get farther out west, you get into,
Yeah.
everybody's got septic tanks and
Yeah.
leach beds, and
Right.
especially in bigger parcels of land, and
Yeah.
so.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we really love to see those enclosed systems whenever we can get that taken care of. So we really, in this case, appreciate the fact that there's one less system that we have to worry about.
Excellent.
Any
All right, is there,
questions?
is there,
I don't.
is there anyone else here wishing to provide testimony? If not, I believe we need to close the public hearing. Well, we need to,
Is this,
well, I think we need to make sure that we reach all 5 of these. Petition does the petition contain the signatures of the majority of the owners of the real estate in the territory that and has the accurate legal description that was included?
Yes, it does.
Columbus has provided the statement of services to be provided to the territory proposed to be annexed.
Yes, it has.
Territory is not unreasonably large.
No.
On balance, the good of the territory will be served and the benefits will outweigh the detriments in the surrounding area.
Yes,
And no street or highway will be divided over segmented.
that is correct.
Okay, good. All right, so we have no one else here to testify. So we close the public hearing. And then we can move on with Resolution 378-17, if you could read it into the record.
Resolution number 378-17, hearing on a petition to annex .47 acres from Prairie Township to the city of Columbus, case number ANX-05-17.
And before we get a motion for approval, Nick, have we met all requirements? Are we good here?
Yes, it appears so, Commissioner.
Thank you. Okay. Commissioner Boyce.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for passage.
second?
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 378-17 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
Appreciate
here,
it.
Mr. Hawkins.
For the first time in 10 years, it went okay.
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Hawkins, thank you for your time today.
Nicely done, Commissioner O'Grady.
All right, Antoine, do we have journalizations?
There are none today.
All right, being no journalizations, that concludes our business for May 23rd. We will see everybody next week. Happy Memorial Day.
You get a new phone?